Okay, nako, magandang gabi ho sa inyong lahat. Welcome ho sa ating program. Hindi ko ho program, no? Pero kasama lang ho ko rito. Ito ho yung Legal Advice Corner with Attorney DANNA Quinto. So ako po si Sunny Laragan, ang makakasama ho ni Attorney sa pag-alalay ho sa inyong lahat, no? Dito sa ating palatuntunan. Ito ho ang inyong palatuntunan, Legal Advice Corner, kaalaman tungkol sa batas dito ho sa United Kingdom. So tayong mga kababayan natin, tayong mga Pinoy dito sa UK, meron ho tayong kumbaga parang official na abogada ho because halos lahat ho ng branches, no, ng batas nasasaklaw ho niya, no. Pati rin immigration, kanya nga lang hindi niya itatouch ang immigration. All legal things, no, except immigration. Siyempre kasi meron tayong kasama si Attorney Lira Simon Kabatbat on a Thursday. Anyway, yes, it's I guess how do we say this, no? Kung yung Thursday a happy Thursday, how will we call that Tuesday? Siguro beautiful Tuesday, no? 'Di ba? So, ayan, good evening ho. Welcome mo sa ating program. Siyempre, pakikilala ko na ang ating yung pinaka-eksperto, ang pinaka-star ng ating programa. Walang iba kundi si Attorney DANNA Quinto. Attorney, magandang gabi sa iyo.
And good evening. It's a beautiful Tuesday. Kahit na gloomy, it's a classic English day weather-wise. Ewan ko dyan sa London, but it's been gloomy and dark and a bit cold. But nonetheless, sige lang. It's still a beautiful Tuesday. We're here. That's the most important thing. Dito pa rin tayo. Sharing with each other yung mga experiences natin. A lot of kababayan natin nag-share ng experience, not just humihingi ng consultation, but equally like last week, no, may mga nag-share ng tips about asthma. Some people were sharing tips about how they're hiking and travel. So it's a good day. It's always a good day it's always a good day pag andito tayo back with the community. So yes, good evening. Good evening Europe, good evening UK, good evening London, and good evening Bedford. Sorry, sir.
Oo, okay
They're
nawala
gone.
yan.
Yeah, there we are.
Yes. Oo, tama. Yes, magandang gabi nga once again sa ating mga kababayan sa UK, Europe, no, and all over the world, no. Dahil ikaw ay hindi lamang dito sa London, sa Europe, no, pati sa iba't ibang bahagi ng mundo napapanood tayo. At we had a very good program last time. Maraming nakapanood sa atin, sa iyo, most especially dahil ikaw naman talaga ang pinapanood ng tao, hindi naman ako, no. Dahil sa information na binibigay mo, attorney, no. Ayan. Every week meron tayong tinatalakay ng konti. Teka muna, kumusta? How was your day? Kumusta naman yung araw mo, no?
The age a bit very, very busy. I think the legal world, I was telling you earlier, the legal world is getting so busy this October. Hindi namin alam, ewan ko kung na-tune in po kayo mga kababayan. Today is the highest ever coronavirus positive na natala sa UK. Ever since the start of the outbreak, we're hitting 7,100 cases today. So mag-ingat lahat, extra precautions. I think everywhere we're feeling yung kinakailangan mo talagang mas mag-ingat pa. So that's one of I think the things now for us as a business, as part of the community. Obviously, health and safety first. May mga colleagues tayo, may mga families tayo. So that's something na siguro iniisip din namin when we're looking ahead. We're looking at winter times. We're looking at court cases. A lot of clients are still asking, ano ba, tuloy pa ba? And very much, very, very busy on court this October. That's everywhere. Yung sabi ko, ewan ko ba kung gusto nilang to get it over with ng October, get cases along ng October, mostly for family cases, just to give everyone a feedback. Most of the family cases are moving along. Kasi yung no delay principle with children matter. I'm feeling that the court is very much upholding that in Kafka's and some mga financial matter as well. And less so in civil. I think family is getting listed quicker than civil cases at the moment. However, yun lang ang napifeel namin. It's everyone's not just I think not just the legal world, but everyone keeping attuned kung anong mangyayari. I think at the end of the day, we better keep our community safer. So let's see what will go on. It's been a surreal year so far. So ewan ko sa'yo, Mr. Laragan, kung kamusta, but
Wala, wala.
it's naisip mo ba na ganito magiging September 1 this year?
Well, I was about to ask you nga, parang iba na, it's a weird world, no? Parang we've never ever
Very weird.
experienced this in our,
Yeah,
in our lives, no?
Mask,
Oh,
diba? Mask, parate.
oh,
I have my, diba that's from my friend. Kasi yung mga taga-Sussex, I have my own little uh, hand sanitizer. So definitely mask all the time. I'm also but everywhere, even sa opisina, even when we're walking, we have to wear
nakamask pa
mask.
rin.
Mask pa rin. Extra precautions. Hindi lang
Yeah.
para sa mga kasama mo rin.
I know, but it's a different reality, no? Parang nakamask ka lagi ka. We never ever thought na everybody would be wearing mask, no? Na tayo magmamask, no? Nowadays, we have to protect ourselves. Nakamask tayo, eh. At I don't know, nakakahinga ka ba? Minsan, ang pinaka-problema niya, minsan nahihinga mo yung mismo breath mo, eh, pag nagsasalita ka, no? Di ba?
Alam ko katawa, Mr. Laragan. Kasi, mahilig akong kumain ng cookies.
Oh, okay. So, ginagano, tinataas mo.
Alas 11, ako ganun ako. Nakalimutan ko may mask ko. May sinubuko ko.
Alright. Okay. Wala na kasi, no? Wala sa lobo, nakamask ka pala.
Na-infect na yung cookies ko. So, that's
wow.
That's one of the new reality. Parang ko. Na-remind ako na bago reality ko ngayon.
Ibang klase pala.
Kami,
we were
it's been a bit of a
No. Okay. Just weekend now, like you were saying, kasi you just a cookie. Ganun din yung we were having breakfast in a Moroccan restaurant sa may Fulham. Parang weird kasi everybody's halos sa mga 1 meter distansya namin. Pagdating namin lahat kami naka-mask. Pero pagkakain tinatanggal ang mask, eh.
Yeah,
pero paano yun? Para yung distance yun, hindi naman din ganun kalayo. But, wala. But you have to eat without your mask, no? Is there a way of eating with your, wala, no? Diba? You have to
mask. Laligam ng butas is
Hindi
quite...
po pwede, no? Hindi po pwede. Pero ikaw ba, ba't matakaw ka ba sa cookies during the day ba? Parang cookies ba ang pinaka-energizer mo sa trabaho? Kaya andyan ka sa tabi?
Meron akong I have a very sweet tooth. Tapos, pag nakakatawa yung mga workmates ko actually. So meron akong pattern yan, mga mid-morning, pagkatapos sobrang busy. I try to go to, meron kaming desk doon, nandun yung pagkain, yung mga food table tawag namin doon. So sisimple ako, kunwari, alam mo yun, kukuha ng papel, ganon, tapos kukuha na ako ng cookies, tapos so that's the pattern. And mahilig kami, we bring stuff around. So ginagawa ko din yun mga mid-afternoon. And so I work a bit late. So sometimes I go to a meeting. May mababait naman yung mga workmates ko. Sometimes mga maliliit na tsokolate dun sa taas ng mga papel ko. So that's really nice. That's very sweet. I think I'm known na may sweet tooth. So
okay. Teka muna, table yan, you have food for everybody on? Parang food table, mga biscuits,
Biscuits. We try to get fruit sometimes. So the firm or sometimes kami din will bring mga snacks. We're really quite mahilig kami sa pagkain yung firm namin. So there's always something there.
Okay, well, okay. Yung mga popcorns, mahilig ka ba sa popcorns?
No, ako hindi. Mahilig na cookies talaga yung
cookies.
Cookies
Kaya ako, well, yung cookies kasi, I don't know if you know this, but have you ever heard of Skyflakes, yung sa Pilipinas? Kasi
nagbaon din po ako ng Skyflakes.
Okay. Kasi lahat ng mga abogado, mga doktor, mga accountants, kung sino man, they always bring with them mga skyflakes kapag ka nag-exams, yung mga board exams, bar exams, di ba, medical exams, mga
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
naka-skyflakes,
Yeah, and
uso-uso sa atin. So,
this guy like,
yung skyflakes, maraming mga abogado, doktor, accountant, sino ka man, engineers, na
yeah.
nakapasa ng dahil sa skyflakes, no?
The Dance Skyflakes. Yeah, meron nata meron dito eh. Meron ka
Oh,
makukunan na Skyflakes dito. So yeah.
yeah, yeah,
No,
it's,
ang akin,
mm,
yes,
ano
I have a
sa'yo?
bit of a sweet tooth. But kahit anong medyo matamis at some point. So may mga nagbe-bake din sa mga workmates ko. So hindi naman ako mapili basta matamis lang. So
Okay.
yeah,
Really, ah?
mid-morning, meron talaga parang ano yan eh, parang clockwork, 11 o'clock. Tapos
Okay.
ikot-ikot na ako, nag-flip ako.
Pero attorney, ikaw, ano ka, no? Mahusay kang magluto, di ba? Di ba, naging chef ka dati,
Very kind.
nag-work ka sa mga ano. Pero paano yun? Do you also
Mm.
bake aside from preparing yung mga
I,
magagandang mga ano mo, yung mga dishes mo? Do you also
I
bake?
don't, that's the thing, I don't bake at
Okay,
all.
okay. But you never ever tried doing
Yeah,
that.
fun.
You
No, I never
never ever
tried
tried yung
actually.
mga
No,
baking? Have you ever tried it? O
no, I
mas
never tried. That's
specialty
the
mo
thing.
yung
I might
talagang,
try it.
ha?
I've never tried baking. Yeah, I've never tried
I've never
baking.
tried
Mostly,
baking. Oh,
savory lang. Yeah,
ayan,
savory.
oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
teka muna.
maybe next
Ayan.
week.
Hmm. Teka muna.
And then
May
yeah.
bumabati sa atin yata ngayon. Ayan. Ayun, at least si May Tigbao Vargas. Ayun. Oh, watching from
I
Exeter, Devon.
mean,
May,
from
mabuhay. Ayan.
Mexico.
Oh, from
Ganda
Exeter.
dyan.
O sige.
Maganda sa Devon. Yeah.
Nakapunta ka na ba?
Maganda sa Devon. Yeah, I've passed by. Yeah, yes.
Okay, okay.
I've
I've
been in
never ever been to Devon, no. Yun lang last 2 weeks ago. That's my first ever in Devon because I dreaded traveling southwestward dahil feeling
Yeah,
ko
Southwest.
malayo, no? Pero yung pala pareho lang ng distance with Manchester, no? From my place.
Yeah,
Okay, okay lang. Okay lang. Next time I've always been going up north, no? Ngayon pa
yeah,
southwest naman para ma-experience naman,
exactly.
yung mga lugar na yun. Wiltshire, yan, yung Wiltshire,
Yeah,
Devon,
Cornwall. Yeah.
Cornwall. Saan ba ang Cornwall? Hindi ko alam ang Cornwall.
Pagkatapos po ng
Devon?
Devon, if you go
So yun ang
southwest,
dulo. Yung
yeah,
dulo.
that's right. Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
right. Where you
Cornwall.
have this
Ganda po.
Penzance ba yan, no? Yung mga Truro, ganyan.
Penzance,
Truro, no?
Penzance, Lizards Point, Lands End. Yeah,
Umabot,
Lands End yung
uma,
pinaka.
umabot ka na ba ron? Umabot ka na ba sa dulo? Wow, galing naman talaga.
Ganda.
Umakyat ka ng bundok ulit? Hindi.
Yeah, I was running dun sa area na yun. Yeah, I was
Really?
running that.
Okay.
Ganda.
Oh, that's good.
Very,
That's
very,
good. Kaya pala. Di ba,
very.
the people there, they call themselves Cornish. And we have a friend from
Yeah.
Cornwall who claims that it used to be like a separate parang country or ano, no? Yung mga
I
Cornish
agree.
people.
Yeah, sabi
Oo.
nila, yeah, sabi nila, they were a separate bunch and they wanted an independence from UK at some point, like
Mm.
Scotland
Oo, oo,
probably
oo.
years
Kaya
ago.
pala. Oh, kasi very proud yung tao na yun. Yung kaibigan. Si Roger. Roger. His name is Roger Stouffer.
Hi, Roger.
Stopher. Roger. Yan, Roger. Okay. Uy, teka muna.
Hi, Roger.
Sige. Anong tatalakayin natin ngayon, Tony? Anong topic natin for tonight?
Yeah, very, very quickly, it's how to defend a claim.
Mm.
Kung nakasuhan ka sa UK, what do you need to do? So we're talking
Nakasuhan.
about that.
Na,
Oo, nakasuhan ka.
claim,
Yung
claim,
nakasuhan
claim.
ka na talaga. Nakatanggap ka na talaga
Okay.
ng, people call it summons, but hindi talaga summons yung tawag dito. It's
Okay.
called a notice of issue. Yun yung tawag namin dito. So when somebody
Any
actually
claim. Any
begins
claim yan? Is it broad or
any
meron
claim
ka?
the
Any claim.
civil
Okay,
side,
okay. So generic yan.
This one is civil side. This is civil. Hindi, it's a family. This is slightly different sa family. Yung financial side ng family and divorce petition. We'll talk about that later. But this is purely civil side. Yung halimbawa, breach of contract,
Mm,
or classic is breach of contract, debt
mm.
claim, or personal injury, defamation. So anything that is civil, and then finally naka-receive ka ng official paperwork saying you
Mm.
have been sued. What do you do?
Ayan. Okay. Sige. Take it away, attorney.
Yeah. So, right. So, in the UK, hindi ka, normally in the civil procedure rules, the court itself will issue the proceedings. Sila yung magpo-process, no? So, yung other side, the claimant's team will send, normally triplicate, tawag namin sa favorite word namin, triplicate, tatlong kopya ng claim form bundle nila. They'll send it to the court, babayaran nila yung court fee. The court will process it, will stamp it with a court seal. May court seal na nakalagay doon. They will say kung ano yung date of issue, yun yung date kung kailan nag-umpisa yung court proceedings, and they will send it to you directly. The court will send it to you directly, normally via post, normally second-class post as well. And dun yung makikita mo ang tinatawag namin na notice of issue of proceedings. It says a proceeding has been started against you. Kinasuhan ka na ng isang tao or isang kumpanya, and you have to do a number of things in order to defend it. Otherwise, magkakaroon yung kumpanya ng what we call a default judgment. Automatically, panalo sila kung hindi mo gagawin this next few steps that I will set out. So when you get that notice of issue, may importanteng date doon. They will note yung date of service. The reason for that is the time na sinil ng korte yung court papers to the time na makakarating sa'yo yon, may lag. Kasi syempre, pinrocess pa ng Royal Mail, pinost nila. So it'll take about 4 or 5 time. So, in itself, will say, okay, bibigyan namin yung allowance, yung time na in transit yung mga papeles, but we'll give you a date of service. Importante yon because that's the date where you will start counting yung deadline mo. So, when you receive a paperwork like that, hanapin mo yung date of service, the court will say there, sasabihin naman nila, you have 14 days, clear days, hindi working days, just plain 14 days to acknowledge service. Pag na-acknowledge mo yung service, only if you acknowledge service, you have an extra 14 days to file a defense. So yung unang deadline mo is to say to the court, may papel doon, may response back to say, either I wish to defend this legal claim, I wish to defend this claim, or I wish to defend a part of this claim. So, kung wala kang defense, obviously, the best thing to do is to seek an agreement as kung paano mo mababayaran or kung kaya mo bayaran. Kung talagang sabi mo, ay ayoko naman talaga maglabanan to. This doesn't apply. This only applies if you wish to defend the claim. So, you tick that box, you put 14 days, kung 14 days ngayon, so let's have a look. Today is 29 of September. Yeah. So how kung nakatanggap ako ng notice ng claim ngayon, it says date of service is 29th of September. I have until 13th of October to file my acknowledgement of service. And I have a further 14 days from that. So 14 days from 13th of October, that's 27th of October to file my defense. Now, ano ba yung acknowledgement of service? So, pagbigay sa'yo ng korte, hindi lang yung claim nila. Meron nakalagay din yung claim form. We call it the N1. Nakalagay yung particulars of claim, andun yung story ng claim nila. And then, bibigyan ka din ng korte ng response back. Sasabihin, admit mo ba? Or i-defend mo. If you defend mo, ito yung acknowledgement of service. So there's a paper there that you can tick to say, I acknowledge that. The other thing to do is, kung complicated ang case, and I do really advise, get legal advice straight away. Not on day 10, not on day 13, and definitely not on day 14, because lawyers can say no, if on the day itself yung deadline, because it's very, very dangerous. So, on the day itself na makatanggap ka, tawag agad ng abogado. Because at the moment, COVID ngayon, mahirap ng appointment, so may lag lahat ng mga mga processes. So go do it straight away. Yung 14 days, maiksi lang yung timeline na yun. Once you've done the acknowledgement, pag hindi mo palinagan, and as I've said, this is the most important thing about that 14 days. If you miss that, the other side can just say to the court, ay hindi niya na comply yung deadline. So please, can we have a default judgment? Panalo na kami agad. And yes, they can. They can get a default judgment if they sue you for, say, £100,000 and you didn't acknowledge or you acknowledge after the 14th day at nag-apply na sila ng default judgment, they have automatically a win against you and they can be entitled to £100,000. So very, very important. If you receive a notice of issue, get legal advice straight away, and in any event, make sure that you acknowledge, if you are defending, make sure you do acknowledge the claim within 14 days. And within the extra 14 days, so that buys you another 14 days, may 28 days ka na, may isang buwan ka na, to file the actual defense. Ano ba yung defense? So can I just say I defend it because I don't agree with them, period? No, it doesn't work like that. It used to many years ago until the court introduced this, what we call civil procedure rules. I'm not going to bore you so much with it, but civil procedure rules is a set of rules na sinasabi kung ano yung kailangan mo na ilagay dun sa defense mo. Meron actually listahan ng mga requirements para maging valid yung defense mo. You can't just say, I don't agree with them, period, that's my defense. Because you can get struck out later on. Pwede kang i-technical ng kalaban mo. So, yes, get legal advice, but for the purpose of today's session, sabihin ko yung general na advice namin sa mga kliyente in terms of drafting a defense. When you draft your defense, kailangan mong, as I told you, may particulars of claim doon, may story yung kalaban mo, may paragraph doon. So, the normal thing to do is to set out your case on a paragraph by paragraph basis. The court expects you to answer everything on a paragraph by paragraph basis, including yung pag-introduce nila sa roles ng mga participants. So the claimant would say, oh, I, the claimant, with a registered addressing company, sila is and was at home a provider of legal services. So what you have to say is you admit that fact, you confirm that fact na tama yung sinabi nila. So the court would like for you na mag-comment sa bawat sasabihin ng claimant. So you can either confirm, you deny, or the other tactical point which lawyers use, I neither confirm nor deny this fact. And the claimant is put to strict proof na sila yung mag-ano. Or what we call is you put it back to the claimant to prove that particular statement. I'm not going to go further into that because yun yung trabaho namin mga abogado, and it's a longer, more technical, more complicated story. How we use the admission, how we use the denial, and how we sometimes put it back to them to just say, prove mo. We don't need to prove it. You prove it kasi yung claimant ka. But for the avoidance of any doubt, what you need to do if you're doing it yourself, kung sobrang, if it's something that you can do, is kailangan mo mag-comment at each and every allegations against you. If you do not comment at one particular allegation, the other side can say, I hindi ka na comment. We'll take it as you accepted that. So be very, very careful with defense. Seek legal advice. Still, that is the the primary suggestion, because it is pretty technical. And hindi lang sa substance, but procedurally, may mga requirements yung korte, again, according to what we call the civil procedure rules. Also, at the end of the defense, so sabi mo na, hindi rin pwede sabi mo, ayun na ha, sabi ko lang sa korte, I'll send you an email saying, I don't agree with this person, thank you very much, and see you at court. That doesn't work, because the defense would have to be verified by what we call a statement of truth. What do you mean statement of truth? Simply, it says, I, the defendant, confirm that the above statement, that the above facts mentioned in the above statement are true. And it's signed by you, it's dated by you. Just as simple as that. So again, that's one of the technical requirements of a defense. It's not a full defense kung wala yung statement of truth na yun. And you're likely to get a technical sanction even if you're a litigant, what we call, yung favorite ni Mr. Laragan last week, the litigant in person. So that again, that's one of the most pertinent things if you are trying to defend a claim. Make sure you do so at the end of the 28th day deadline after mo na acknowledge. So if I acknowledge my claim today, I have until October 27 para i-file yung defense. Sinagot ko lahat, every allegations, and I put my statement of truth underneath, and I filed. We again, pabalik tayo sa mga favorite wording, legal wording natin. File and serve. So when you acknowledge, you always do two things. Kailangan mong i-update yung korte. We call it filing. At i-update yung other side, we call it serving. So when you acknowledge your claim, you file with the court and you serve on the other side. When you lodge your defense, you filed your defense with the court and you serve on the other side. So don't forget that, because that's again one of the classic na nakakalimutan minsan ng mga litigants in person. So file and serve at all times. What you do with the court, you always tell kung ano yung ginawa mo, you always update the other side. So that's yung mga technical requirements that will get your case as a defended claim. The court will acknowledge it and they will say, this is now a defended claim, and we will proceed with the rest of the civil action, which I will talk at another time. Now, may extra bonus yung tip. At this particular stage ng litigation, hindi pa malaki yung cost. Hindi pa malaki yung time, yung effort, yung aggravation mo in terms of what I call solving the problem. So it is a problem, it needs to be solved. It's either solved by winning at the trial, or the alternative is it's solved by a settlement. So if you look at your case, nakita mo na yung case niya eh. Nakita mo na yung particulars of claim niya. Alam mo na yung story niya. Alam mo na rin yung story mo. You will have an idea kung ano yung merits, what we call merits ng claim mo. You'll have an idea kung, not quite sure about that. You will have an idea kung ano yung mapuprove mo, hopefully, at that stage. If may idea ka, not all the time, hindi possible all the time. But if you do have an idea sa merits ng case mo, and if you know kung ano yung pwede mong i-offer, I would suggest make an early offer at this stage. Bakit? This is before you incur substantial cost. Mas madaling magbigay ng offer kung parehong party ay hindi pa nagbabayad ng malaking legal costs or nag-incur ng malaking management time in dealing with the case. So it's also a pit stop for me as a civil litigator to look at the case. So nalagay ko na. So today, I acknowledge the case. I looked at it, 27th of October, nalagay ko na yung defense ko. I would also pause and look at the case as an overview and look if hinog na ba yung case for me to make an offer now. And if it is, I would go to the client and say, I think it's a good idea to make an early offer now. So that's, again, defending a claim also means trying to solve the claim as early and as efficiently as possible.
Na ano ko, attorney, doon sa hinog na ang case. How do you know kung hinog na ang case mo?
Part of it is gut instinct. So like lawyers, it's very much a gut instinct case. So I'd look at the case and sasabihin ng client sa akin, actually, ang kaya ko lang i-defend dyan. Say they were sued 15,000 pounds. And so by doing the defense, I'll go through the evidence, kukunin ko statement ng client ko, and magta-transpire kung ano yung pinaka-kaya kong i-defend. So, maybe after defending it, I can see that 10,000, kaya kong i-defend strongly. But 5,000, not so much. So, I might say to the client, look, put your case as strongly as we can, as reasonably strongly as we can. And I'll be very honest with you, this part of the case is good, this part of the case is not good. So why don't we make an offer na taking into consideration the weakness of the case? So it's not necessarily perfectly hinog, but it's a matter of instinct and matter of reading yung psyche ng other side. What are they looking at? Kasi may risk din sila eh. So, you know, they too are risking money and time and effort. What is it that they want, and can we meet them there at this early stage if I'm looking at the two stories at the end of the day? So I've got this yung dalawang storya nila, meron na ako as early as possible. So I look at that, I ask the client for evidence. Kung kaya, you make an offer. You'll make an offer at that stage.
Okay, attorney, you said no, you're in effect no, parang what I'm gleaning from what you're saying is you have 28 days, 14
Correct.
days and then another 14 days. Yung sinasabi mo today, you were counting it today because you received it today?
Because I received a notice of issue
Oo.
saying that the date of service is today. So maybe initial ng korte last week, and
Okay.
maybe for some reason I received it yesterday or today. A most important thing about it is to look at the paper. Meron nun eh.
Okay.
The date this claim has been served is blank a day, 2020. That is the most important thing. The notice of service, notice of issue. They will say this is deemed served. Yung wording. This claim is deemed served on 29th of September 2020. That's the most important point there na hahanapin mo. If unsure, tawag ka sa korte or tawag ka sa abogado, because we could figure it out very much.
Okay.
What also is very good practice for lawyers is once we have it, ito pa yung isa pala na ano ko, because I experienced it early, meron pa rin gumagawa nito, and no disrespect, fair enough, yun yung gusto nyo mangyari. Some firms don't accept service, so I file and serve, don't accept service, ayaw nila mag-receive by email. And that's a bit my personal
Pwede ba?
opinion.
Nagsiserve ba ng email din, attorney?
Pardon?
They
Sorry.
also serve via emails then? Is that also a form
I
of,
do.
you can say,
Yeah.
deemed served on the 29th via email? Pwede ba yan?
No, the court will do it via post. The court will
By
do
post?
it
Oh,
via
because
post.
everything's by
Sometimes-
post. Oh, okay,
Yeah, the
okay.
court will do it via post. Sometimes the court will send you a copy via email ng mga notice ng hearing. Kung lalo na po ngayon dahil COVID. Less so before. I think the legal sector is trying to adjust with COVID. It used to be a lot more formal. It used to be talagang post talaga. And may mga firms talaga noon na ayaw tumanggap. Sasabihin ko, I want to serve my defense. Are you happy for me to serve it via email? You have to ask that sometimes na kasi technical ka, sasabihin nakalagay sa letterhead nila, we don't accept papers via email. A bit unusual now na COVID, but it's always worth asking. So pag nakita mo yung notice mo, tanong mo kabila, pwede ba ng email rather than post? Kasi pag pinost mo, 'di ba yung ending natin is 27th of October. Kung email, okay lang. Kung tatanggap sila ng dokumento via email, okay lang. Kasi, di ba yung email, pag sinend ko sa'yo ngayon, Mr.
Instant.
Laragan,
Oh,
receive na rin
seconds.
ngayon.
Yes, yes. Oh,
Yeah,
instant.
but if they say we don't accept via email, you actually have to send it, not on
By post.
27th,
Oo.
but, kung by post lang, you have to send it about 3 days before or 2 days before. Depende kung first class or second class post. So be very careful about that. May maraming technicalities talaga in terms of procedural rules. So it's really worth asking and taking legal advice straight away. Don't leave it too late. Maiksi yung 14 days. Yun yung isa sa pinaka-crucial timing ng isang claim is to make it to the acknowledgement of service, buy yourself another 14 days para mas ano mo ma-digest mo
Te-
talaga yung
te-
story na
te-
binigay nila.
Teka muna, attorney. So, ang sinasabi mo acknowledgement period is, di ba, 14 days and then you're given another 14
Yeah,
days?
14 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, when do you tell them na, when do you let them know that you're really acknowledging it? Aren't you counting it, say, for example, sabi mo, baka last week pinadala halimbawa, 29th na tinatanggap. Can you just claim na you received it, say, on Friday, coming Friday, and then count 14 days from the Friday? So it goes on
No.
onwards to November, more or less, di ba? Hindi ba pwede yun?
No, you can't do that kasi nakalagay talaga dun sa notice of issue kung kailan nila na-serve yung
So
papers.
within 2 weeks, for example, even if it came late, sorry, for example, they said November 29, kunyari, sorry, September 29, yung this is deemed served, parang ganun ba ang wording nun?
Mm.
Okay.
Deemed served, yeah, correct.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
deemed served, they sent it on the 29th, we got it on a Friday, ganun, it's a Friday, let's say it's a coming Friday. Do
Dito
we
coming October 2.
October, oh yeah, do we count it the 14 doon? Oy, natanggap ko pala. Well, now you acknowledge, no? You acknowledge the court, sabi mo. You acknowledge the court. Who acknowledges you? You
You
acknowledge,
acknowledge
you
to
give
the
a call.
court, acknowledge to the court, and acknowledge to the other side
You're acknowledging to the other side.
as
Pareho,
well.
attorney?
Pareho.
The court and the
Pareho.
other side. Eto, wala ka
Correct.
pang abogado pa
Correct.
lang nito. Basta you're trying. Or should you go
You
to a
can. You
lawyer,
can go
you
straight
received
to
it, pupunta ka na sa lawyer kagad, o
go to the
paki-acknowledge
court.
lang.
Absolutely. Yeah, acknowledgement na straight away. Straight away.
Straight away go
Yeah.
to the lawyer.
I would suggest so. I would suggest so. Kasi
Okay.
every day matters eh. Every day matters to get
Oo.
your case right. So it's now may time element na ngayon. If, for example, kung yun ang nangyari, I wouldn't make so much issue out of it. But kung halimbawa, talagang 2 weeks late, halimbawa, for some reason, nagka-strike yung Royal Mail, hindi dumating. Tapos meron na lang ako natirang 2 weeks. Kaya pa, umabot pa dun sa acknowledgement of service. So, deadline natin is
So
October 7.
natapos yung acknowledgement period. What you're saying, yung extended na 14 days pa. Yun na lang ang time mo na lang? Parang umiksi na lang ang time
Halimbawa,
to prepare for the case, for the claim?
it's very unusual na mawawala. For some reason, it's very, very unusual na mawawala suppose yung mga court papers. Because I think they know kung court papers yun.
No,
I
no, but
think
what I
Royal
mean,
Mail.
what I meant was you lost time. For example, it is deemed served on, say, on the 29th, you received it kind of late siguro. Sabihin na lang natin.
Next week, next week.
You
Pero kung
lost
time
some
natin,
time. Di ba,
you may,
you lost time
yeah,
during the
you may,
acknowledgement period. Medyo yung acknowledgement period, malapit na dun sa another 14
so
days mo.
deadline.
Yung pinaka 14 days mo,
Yeah.
di ba?
Uh,
So, bitin
what
ba
do
ang
you
time
do
to
there?
prepare? Do lawyers have, is that, ang 14
Yeah,
days,
we
is it
can.
enough time to prepare for you guys?
We can ask for extension if we feel, kung halimbawa yung client ko came in and talagang sobrang sabi, no, hindi ko talaga, ngayon ko lang talaga nakuha. So what I would do, I'd still acknowledge it, still make the timing, and then I'll invite the other side to agree an extension on the basis na coronavirus ngayon, maraming mga delays, and kung wala namang lawyers can agree between themselves to agree an extension for further 28 days without asking the court na between sa amin lang pwede kami mag-agree within ng extension ng 28 days as long as walang masasagasaan na hearing. Simula ng coronavirus, I think this is first day of lockdown. I'm not sure kung andito pa rin yon. Dumoble yon. Naging 56 days. We can agree to extend ang mga deadline between ourselves para kaming nagbigay ng ayun na, deadline na ng project natin. Pwede bang mag-extend ng extra month? We can. We used to up to a month.
You can.
Yung coronavirus, we were able to extend up to 56 days, so close to 2 months. So the court also allowed us that period. May professional courtesy kami. You want to look reasonable sa court. So kung humihingi lang yung kalaban mo ng 1 week, my tactic is that you better give it. You don't want to look unreasonable.
Okay. Attorney, may mga tanong-tanong. Maganda yung triplicate, no? Siguro kaya triplicate, one for the kalaban mo, one for the
Correct.
court, and one for yourself. Ganun ba yan?
Galing, yes, absolutely.
Kaya
Pwede
pala
ka
triple. Hindi. I couldn't get around this, yung ate acknowledgement period, pero okay lang yan. Kasi minsan kaya ako, I couldn't get my head around it. Kasi nga, di ba, minsan pagka meron ka ng traffic penalty or yung mga penalty, when they come, you're given a certain period. If you don't pay within 14 days, if you pay within 14 days, you pay one half. Di ba, ganyan eh. Yung mga ano lang sa mga penalties, di ba? Yung mga pero hindi ko alam kung kailan yung 14 days eh. Is it the 14 days na tanggap ko?
Bibigyan ka ng date. The good thing about the court is bibigyan ka ng date. The day it deemed served is this
sa
date.
korte yan. Hindi pala sa mga...
Bibigyan ka ng date. The day na sinerve ka, wag kung kailan mo na-receive or etc. Make it simple. Basahin yung notice of issue. Tingnan mo kung ano yung ni-note nila, the date deemed served on. From that date, magbilang ka ng 14 clear days. Hindi working, hindi 14, just plain 14 days. Yun yung deadline mo to file an acknowledgement. Yun lang yung una mong dapat gawin. Pag nagawa mo na yon, meron kang additional. So, ang total mo, ang total mo is, so bubuksan yung door para makaproceed ka sa second stage, which is to file a defense. When you must file a defense, ito na lang yung wording, within 28 days. With an additional 14, but within 28 days nung being served mo.
Sir, okay. All right. Yun.
So, mag-acknowledge ka muna kasi hindi ka pwede mag-file ng defense.
So you have to acknowledge first.
Acknowledge ka muna. Pag nag-acknowledge ka, 28 days yung deadline mo. That's better.
You were mentioning when you answer the allegations or the whatever, it has to be paragraph by paragraph. So for example, allegation 1 cannot be answered by paragraph 2. It has to be answered by paragraph 1. Ganun ba yun? Allegation 2 has to be answered by paragraph 2. Allegation 3.
Paragraph, you just have to answer it. It doesn't matter if it's married. So,
okay.
with regard to what I'm saying is you have to make a comment about comment nila. So if they say paragraph,
so it has to be in paragraph form.
It has to be in paragraph form. Basta sagutin mo lahat ng sinabi nila. It doesn't matter kung nag-iba na yung paragraph mo, but what you do is you say, with reference to paragraph 1 of particular subclaim, this is my, I confirm, I deny, I neither confirm nor deny. So those are the classic responses. Basta mag-respond ka, bawal silent. Bawal lang no comment.
Bawal din, attorney, you couldn't say this claim is stupid or preposterous or hindi pwedeng gano'n, no?
You can't say preposterous actually. You can't say
you can. Because you said earlier na hindi pwedeng you have to para mag-reason out di ba? Parang hindi pwedeng you just wanna say na
comments if you want. Additional na lang yun. Kumbaga sa summary mo na lang yun kung gusto mong... And my clients sometimes just like to have their, yung ano nila, to have their views out. And sasabihin ko sila, mamaya ka na. Sasabihin ko muna yung legal. And then, I will give you a chance sa summary kung ano talaga yung gusto mong sabihin sa kanila. So it's not a problem. That's fine. And talagang gusto mo yun sasabihin na, ano ba to? Kaibigan ko to. Tapos sometimes it wouldn't matter, but I think it helps in giving the reader, kung sino naman nagre-read ng defense, kasi yung mga story to story. You want the person to have a complete impression ng nangyari na to. And sometimes, you add yung mga background, yung color ng picture. And that's when the persuasion comes in. That's when the storytelling comes in. That's when you're a journalist as well. So you don't just say sometimes the facts of the case. There is a way of presenting things to persuade people of what really happened in this case. And you try to make a good impression of your client, that they've been reasonable, that they tried as much as they can, but they're left with no choice, and it's a preposterous claim. So
Okay.
that's
At least naisingit niya, no? Okay, attorney, may
oh,
question. We have a
there you
question
go.
here from Ranjit Somel. Oh, a very good friend of ours. Is one of our
Ranjit.
avid supporters of our station, no? Sabi niya, good evening, Sir Sunny and lovely Dana. And everyone too, no? Question, what if the claimant claims something that is not true and can be proved but gets a default judgment against the defendant? Pwede ba yan? Can there be a
Yep.
default? Oh, okay. So how do you answer? Oh, yeah. Ano ang masasabi mo? Yes, yep, or
Right.
yan?
Okay. Yeah, there is a procedure that we call setting aside a judgment. You have to, Ranjit, you have to do it promptly. So you have to explain to the court what happened. Why did you miss the 14 days? Why did you miss the court deadline? Sometimes, most of the time, it's because someone moved to an address and hindi nila na forward yung, oh, sorry, I have to speak in English. They haven't forwarded the address, or for many, many reasons, they were abroad, they were on holiday. So the most important thing is that you do it promptly. It's an application, so you have to go to the court and explain why you missed it, why, when, what was the delay, if there was any delay, and if it is an arguable case, which you already answered. Nah, it's not true. You have a good defense. It is an arguable claim. So there will be a mini hearing to set aside the judgment. If you are successful, you will go back to square one, and the judge will give you another chance to file a defense. So it's not a complete open and shut. You do have an opportunity to open a case if it is indeed an inadvertent mistake. Say for example, you were ill, you had COVID, nobody knows, you were not at home, and for say 4 weeks, and you receive a claim and you miss the deadline. So you give all those facts and you say, by the way, I have a strong arguable case, and I'd like it to be open, because failing to do so will be a miscarriage of justice. So yeah, there's an opportunity. Yeah.
Ano yun? How would you call it? Parang you're not really appealing, no? You're just having it reviewed,
Setting
or
aside, no, it's not an appeal. It's not an appeal. It's
oh,
setting
okay.
aside a appeal. I used to do it when I was younger. A lot of it when I was younger, because it's like a mini hearing. It's a mini trial. So yeah, I used to do a lot of
I don't
it.
know, like some of your clients were in default.
Yeah. Well, default judgment is not in default. Default judgment is parang automatic. Na miss niyo yung
Oh, yung mga
defense,
deadlines, di ba?
yung
You missed the
deadline
deadlines, and there was a judgment handed down by
straight away.
the. Oh,
Automatic. Yeah.
with this kind of claims, where is it? Like in the Philippines, we have the CF. No, no, hindi na CFI, no. MTC, Metropolitan, for cases na mababa lang, ano, no. And then there's Regional Trial Court, Metropolitan Trial Court, Regional Trial Court, Court of Appeals, and then
Yeah.
Supreme Court. Dito, for example, simple claims, where does it fall? Which is it?
It starts at one claim center. We call it the CCMC, the County Courts Money Claims.
Oh,
So
okay.
most of the money claims start there.
CC, how's that
Uh,
again, attorney? CC?
CCMC, CCMC,
CCMC, okay.
CCMC. So that's where it all starts. Yung first round, which is I call that defense round, it starts there. Once it's a defended claim, I will talk about this in greater detail next week, because this is the rest. I'll talk about yung life cycle ng isang claim proceedings. So once it's an offended claim, bibigyan ka ng questionnaire kung saan mo gusto i-move yung claim. So it will go to a local court after that. Normally, either claimant or defendant. Depende kung nasan yung mga ebidensya, nasan yung mga main witnesses. So yeah, it starts at the main center and then it filters through a local court. If it is a particularly complex case, above £50,000, and you need the complexity of higher level judges, and for other particular cases, judicial reviews, planning, etc. Sometimes you have to start it at the High Court in London, which is the Royal Courts of Justice in Strand. So, or may mga iba pang High Court elsewhere in the UK, but for me, it used to be yun yung High Court na ginagamit namin. So, Royal Court of Justice. So that's the other point. But classic, most of the county court cases, most of in cases normally starts at CCMC.
Okay.
Or may
Well,
money claims online then. May money claims online then for the smaller cases. But
Monica,
that's
okay.
money claims online. But that's still, meron pa ring center yun. Center lang din yung money claims online ano. So the idea is it starts at a main claim center and it filters towards
Main claim center in every borough, in
yeah,
every town.
national, national, national,
What do you mean national?
national. Isa lang po yung main claim center sa buong UK. Yung starting point ng lahat is is
Ito
is
yung saan ko
CCM.
kukuha ka ng N1 ba? NI form? N1
No,
form?
you don't, hindi ka kukuha po. Ikaw po yung magbibigay. Hindi ka kukuha doon. You can get
Yeah,
N1 form sa online.
you get it online. If you're
Yeah,
gonna
you get it
if
online.
you have a claim, N1 ka, di ba? NI ba? NI N1.
N1 with a
N1
particulars of
form.
claim, yeah.
Kung
Plus may
magre-respond ka,
particulars of claim.
response pack.
May response back, yeah, either acknowledgement of service, tatlo yung nakalagay doon eh.
Oo.
Either you admit it, nasuko na, admit na, white towel, and
Okay.
or you put an acknowledgement of service, or may part admission. So may response back na bibigay doon. If
Each one
if nawala man,
each one of those three, tig isang paper or it's on one
tag-isang
paper
tag-isang
and then
paper.
tickable yun. Parang tickable, hindi?
Tag-isang paper po.
Tig-isang paper. So, if you suko
Yeah,
ka,
even
isang
if nawala
paper,
niyo yun, yeah, even if nawala niyo yun, yung response back na yun, it's fine. Huwag niyo lang walain yung notice of issue. Yun yung pinakakailangan ng abogado niyo. Yung notice of issue, yung N1, so N1 and what we call particulars of claim. N1 is sobrang summary lang yun. Particulars of claim is yun yung story. Yun yung paragraph by paragraph na allegation sa inyo.
pero yung N1 is for the claimant, no? Or the parang plaintiff, yun ba yan?
Yeah, claimant po dito. Claimant.
Defendant yung sa inyo, yung, for example, for the
Yung
response pack.
defendant. So you will get a
Okay.
copy, triplicate. So you'll get a copy. You'll get a copy from the claimant. So the wording, the semantics, yung tawag po dito, wording na tinatawag, claimant and defendant. That's
Okay,
yung
claimant and
wording.
defendant.
So it's not
Okay.
plaintiff. It's not the words that are being used here.
Ito,
Yeah, it's quite exciting.
bumabati sa atin okay, may bumabati sa atin si Ma'am Cora Carsola. Sabi niya,
Oh, that's good.
we'll learn, sabi, hi, good evening, attorney, sa atin dalawa, no? Bumabati siya sa atin. Asa na ba yun? Nawala yun. Ay,
Deadline na, Mr. Laraga.
oo nga, hindi, nawala. Teka muna, nawala. Asa na ba yun?
Pass the paper na.
Oo nga, pass the paper. Finish your na finish. Oo nga, pass the paper. Sige na, tingnan ko lang.
Alam niyo yun?
Teka muna, asa na ba itong, ito, okay. Hindi, may sabi niya kasi, we learn many things about your legal advice, sabi niya. We may not have legal problems, but we may share them to our fellow OFWs needing them. Yeah, needing our help and legal advice from from attorney Quinto, no? Ayan. Sandali nawala yung ating parang
Problem.
ito ba yan? Ayan, we learn many things about your legal advice. Nakikita mo ba yan? Kita mo, no?
Apa.
We may not have the legal problems, but we may share them to fellow OFWs, no? Watching us.
Thank you.
Hindi, acknowledge
Thank
kayo
you,
iba,
ma'am.
baka magtampo, no? Baka magalit sila sa atin, syempre, no? Dahil lagi namang nanonood sa atin to. Let's say hello to Juliet Alviedo Marcelino. Sabi niya, good evening, Sunny and Attorney Dana. Listening, watching here. I don't know how to pronounce it. Plasto or Plaisto?
Place to ata. I
Plaisto.
don't know how
Plaisto,
to-
okay. Iba kasi nagpa-Plasto. I'm from Plasto. Ako'y taga-Plasto ako. Plaisto, no? Okay. So, ayan, no? Si
Juliet.
si Franz Pinedo o Franz, ayan, no? Abangan mo lang yung premyo mo, no? Good evening po, Sir Sunny and Attorney Dana watching from Hampstead po. Kumusta po? Mabuhay. Keep safe po, no? Ayan. All right.
Hans, mabuhay. Keep safe as well.
Arnel Valenzuela says, magandang gabi, Kuya Sunny and Attorney Dana. A lovely and healthy evening to both of you. With love from West Cork, Ireland. Ayan, si Emmeline Rafael. Si Arnel, no? Sabi ni Emmeline Rafael, sabi niya, good evening, Sunny and Attorney Dana. Nice to see you both again tonight. Katatapos namin ng Friday. Marami tayong mga views nung Friday, no? Magsama tayo, no?
Very nice.
Fairbank
From
Marie.
mountain to
Good
pearl.
evening, Dance. Ba? May nickname ko na pala, Dance and
I
Sunny.
like it. Dance, yes.
Dance.
That's very cool. Yeah, dance. I
Oh,
like it.
DANNZ, Dance. Oh,
Dance, I like it very much.
oh,
Thank
oh.
you.
Lizzie Hobbs. Oh, she was actually asking for your phone. Hindi ko alam kung tumawag sa'yo, no?
Yes! Hindi pa
Oo.
ata eh.
Hindi,
Hindi pa ata.
she was asking it from me on a Friday evening. So parang headed
Hmm.
towards the weekend na. So hindi ko naman, so sabi ko, office nila yun. I
It's
can,
alright. I try sometimes. Sometimes I still work on a Sunday, so it's okay. Just send it across. It's okay. It's
so
okay.
ayan, okay. So ayan ha. Narinig mo, Marie, no?
Yes,
Cora,
01234 or look for the email. Oh,
yes.
Edgardo.
Edgardo Cagastian Enriquez, sabi niya, good evening, Kuya Sunny, Attorney Dana, and to everyone watching from Canada Water. The place, Lands End,
London.
Cornwall, is popular because it's the starting point of the 2012 Summer Olympics torch relay. Galing naman ang info mo, ha? Maraming salamat,
I
no?
did. Yung ginawa ko pa dun, Sir Sunny, is
Oo.
I did Lizard's Point. Lizard's
Oo.
Point, which is the southernmost point sa UK. Pinaka-tip natin sa UK. And
Ano
then,
pangalan? Ano
papunta sa
pangalan? Ano pangalan?
Lizard. Lizard. Ano nga
Ah,
ba
Lizard.
sabi?
Lizard.
Lizard's Point.
Ah,
Yeah,
Lizard's
so
Point.
we
Okay.
were running. We were doing a run from Lizard's Point to Land's End, which is the most western, from the most southern part of the UK to the most western part of the UK. It took 14 hours.
Ah, you did it? 14 hours? Tinakbo mo?
Yeah, it took 14 hours. Yeah,
This is
14 hours.
not ano in relation to the Olympics, no? Hindi yan, no? Sarili to,
Oh.
sarili, ha?
I was raising money for
Wow.
cancer. It was
Wow.
a charity run
Alam,
for cancer.
alam mo, parang I'm quite curious with that place now. Yung sinasabi mong Lizards, ano pangalan?
There's,
Place?
ang ganda po,
Oh,
promise, ang ganda yung buong, ano, they call it the Southwest Coast Path, I think.
okay.
Ang ganda, I promise. Ang ganda.
Maganda in terms of running the place or in terms of driving kaya? How would it
Oh,
look like? Paano
walking,
kaya?
running,
Walking?
ang ganda walking, yeah, because you can see talaga yung cliff talaga, Mr. Laragan. It's
Ah, okay, okay.
absolutely beautiful. Ang
Wow.
ganda talaga.
At saka end na yan,
As
di ba?
kahit pagod na pagod ka ha, and there were times that I was very much near, a number of times I was very much near quitting. Now, you
Mm.
really feel a different level of pain after running about 10, I think 6 hours pa lang, masakit na sa paa. But then, you look at the side view,
Nawala.
and then after that,
Automatic,
lesson
wala na.
lesson,
Oo, nawala na.
yeah,
Wow.
it's that beautiful.
Amazing, wow.
So, yeah,
You've actually done a lot, no? Attorney, ha? Napakadami mong nagawa na, no? Amazing, ha? Wow. Grabe, no? Okay. Si
yeah,
Franz... Mm,
there's a small claim court. Yeah, money small claims court as well. France Pinedo is right about that. Money small claims court is below £10,000. You can start small claims via money claims or traditionally via post as well. Yung sending it to the hindi lang online but by post as well. I still like doing it by post kasi
mm.
medyo traditional pa rin ako. I like getting my bundles na in order, na tinype, and all of that. But France is right about small claims court.
Pero ano yan? Pagka ganyan mga claims court, small claims court, paano yan? You mentioned about the centralized. So, everything is via parang correspondence, ganyan? Or parang ano, you just wait, let's say si Marie, o kaya si, Franz Pinedo, no? May utang sa akin. I make a claim on court. Who enforces it? How can it be enforced? Is there teeth? Kaya ba? Ano?
The
Can,
small claims court is
mm,
not different from other courts. It's not a physically different court. It's
mm,
just a classification of all claims below £10,000. But if it's defended, if it's fully defended, ma-assign. That's probably the right term. The right term is allocated. Ma-allocate pa rin siya sa local court, and it will be treated as a normal claim. It's just that we call it small claims because of the value. Hindi siya bibigyan ng different na judge or different physical space. It's not an actual physical space, a small claims court, small claims
Mm.
track. It's actually a classification of a case. So, ginagawa nila yon. What you get differently if you're small claims court is you have simpler direction. Simple yung listahan ng gagawin mo from the court. The court will say this is a simple claim purely on the value of the case. Will give you simple the directions. And I'll talk about it next week, the rest of the life cycle of a proceedings. Because after ma-defend, bibigyan kayo ng questionnaire, and the court will give you deadlines. Parang ano to, parang school lang na, parang school. Parang ano, may assignment kayo. So you'd have to produce documents, evidence, we call it disclosure. You have to produce witness statements, and you have to produce an expert evidence sometimes, and then you go for a pre-trial review, and then you go for a full trial. Sometimes meron pang case management yan at the very start. If it's a small claims matter, either pwede ka nang ibigay directly to a final hearing. Depende sa complexity. Sometimes you'll go for a case management, maliit na case management. Sometimes wala. And then you'll go for small claims mediation. Sometimes libre po yun. I think if you get that, please take advantage, opt in pag may small claims mediation. I've done it myself. I thought it was really good. Kasi it's free, and
Mediation?
I've
Mediation, attorney?
small claims mediation via telephone lang. It's a court clerk trying to get you to settle. It's not bad. Hindi siya most of the time if the court can fit it in sa schedule nila, they do it. But with small claims, it's very simple. Sometimes they just give you a final trial date, and maybe a previous date for producing witness statements. So mas simple yung mga task nyo before the trial. That's small claims. You're not assigned to a different court or a smaller court or a simpler court. It's just that you're assigned a simpler task list bago ka makaabot sa trial. That's small claims for you. And the most important thing there, yung pinaka difference is that if you lose, you don't pay the other side's cost. So each party normally bears their own cost. So that really changes the strategies of small claims courts. So halimbawa, you're suing someone for £5,000. Ayaw mo namang mag-incur ng £5,000 na legal cost din. Why? Kasi kahit manalo ka, hindi mo naman makukuha yung 5,000 legal cost mo eh. So, kung nanalo ka, 5,000 din yung bill mo sa abogado mo, ay wala ka din, zero din. 5,000 mo, binigay mo lang dun sa abogado mo. So, it's quite hard sometimes because you finding the balance na, would I go for full-on legal representation? Kung mananalo man lang ako, hindi ko man makukuha yung legal cost ko. So that's one of the main features ng small claims court.
Okay. Nasaan ba ako? Ayan. Okay. Hindi, yung tinatawag natin, yung making an early offer, no? Sabi mo, yun, ang kagandahan ba niyan? Kasi parang mas, but you only make an early offer kung feeling mo kakagatin o hindi rin. Yan ba based on sa sarili mong assessment together with your lawyer? Do you guide your clients and tell them, ito magandang offer? Or do you ask your client first, ano pwede mo i-offer? And then let's taper it down, or let's tame it, or let's add on, or let's give some variations. Sino nag-ano ng offer talaga? Yung kliyente o ikaw na lang nagsasabi?
I think most of the time you take the lead. because meron kaming duty as lawyers. It's
Mhm.
actually dun sa tinatawag ko parang sinasabi, the civil procedure rules. I'll bring it next week. Meron kaming very big, heavy book. Actually, online siya, but I'll show it para makita talaga na nga. It's like the gospel of civil procedure rules, no blasphemy intended. But yun talaga yung rules namin. Nalagay doon, you lawyers, you have a duty to advise your client about settlement as early as possible and at all stages. So magpo-pause ka every time nakikita mo, every time may evidence na bago, every time you're able to what we call take stock of the case, kaya mong tingnan yung mga stories nila.
Mhm.
And you tell the client, if you can formulate the best case and the worst case scenario sa kanya at each stage because, oh, ito na yung evidence. This is your best case scenario and your worst case scenario. This is my recommendation. Your offers could be dependent. Sometimes you could actually say, I think you could win this, but I think you should offer this. Sometimes I would actually tell the client that this is what if it was me, this is my range of offers. And yes, maybe all lawyers know this. You put a little bit of cushion so that you allow for negotiations. The famous na sinasabi ng lawyer, nobody first offer. It does happen, at least very low percentage. It does happen, but most of the time, nobody takes the first offer. Your lawyers were trained how to negotiate, we're trained how to pitch. We're here to look at kung ano yung psyche ng kabila with your help. Kasi mas kilala, most of the time, mas kilala mo sila. You've been in business with them, they were your friends, family members pa nga minsan. So you tell us, you give us the information para makilala namin kung sino yung karakter ng kabila. And we both with soft skills and technical skills, soft skills, i.e., that's the psychology skills that comes with the job, the intuitive skills that come with negotiations. We give you a set of recommendations, and you tell us what is realistic for you. You tell us kung ano yung kaya mo. And then from your instructions, we move that recommendation so that mas realistic na para sa'yo, and then you make the decision at the end of the day. Every offer would have to be approved by the client. That is a very, very strict rule. Every offer, kahit offer letter, offer email, you'd have to have explicit approval from the client. And even telephones, I'd actually send a letter to offer first by email and say, look, I need an express okay. Kahit okay lang. Thumbs up kung gusto mo sa emoticons. I need that. So I confirmed my authority. So So you act as your client's advisor. That's what we do. We advise, and we recommend, and we implement yung decision.
May mga examples ka ba, attorney? For example lang, yeah, not we don't have to mention names.
Without breaking confidentiality.
Confidentiality. Pero ano usually kunyari ang isang case ganto, could you tell us ganto ang case, siguro some facts of the case, ganto ang in-offer kunyari halimbawa, ano bang, can you give some examples lang kung paano?
Yes, I can actually. Somebody needs someone without breaking confidentiality. Talk about early offer. This is one of the times.
Kasi curious din kami what goes on, no? Kasi this will also give us ideas, lalo na kung you're faced with this mga gantong claiming or whatever, no? Yung how to offer what is being offered, no? Ganyan, no? O sige, anong example natin?
So, somebody sued my client, business dispute. Let's put it this way, business dispute. About £50,000. Kasi for some reason, they said, because of information na nag-gather nila, they thought na itong partners nila before had the benefit of parang relief from the government. They were business partners before. And sabi nitong third partner, no, I get a portion of that. Because of this was a partnership agreement that they agreed before. Na nag-terminate na, but merong pa doon na post partnership na obligations. And they have their own idea kung magkano yung benefit na yon. And they said na it's around 150,000 and we get 33% of that, one third. So please give us 50,000. So I got the documents very early on. Na-defend na nila a little bit. I think, yeah, they do. They defended. But ano pa lang, kaka-defend pa lang nila. So straight away, they got it. I read it. So I checked first kung talagang liable sila. Kung talagang on the hook sila dun sa post-termination. And I was very honest with them. I said, actually, I'll be very honest with you. On the hook ka. Now, ang ano mo na lang, ang scope mo na lang for argument is magkano yung benefit. And I asked them, really, tell me honestly, give me facts, give me evidence, tell me forthcomingly so I can deal with the case properly because exposed ka dito. Exposed ka dahil sa document na to. It's part of the job to tell the client you are exposed. You better cut your losses now. So I looked at it and I looked at yung talagang documents about the financial benefit that they had, and it turned out na maliit lang. Na maliit lang talaga. Yung maliit lang yung the best of the evidence can point out na mga 33,000 lang. So 33% of that is about 11 grand. So I said to him, I really push for it. You have to make an offer now. You really have to make an offer now. Because if they can't beat it, and this is where technicalities come through, we call it Part 36 offer. Pag hindi nila na-beat yung Part 36 offer namin, if the court says, by the way, 11,000 na naman yung benefit na nakuha nyo Bakit kayo habol ng 50,000 kahit binigyan na kayo ni DANNA ng lahat ng evidence? The court may, kung nag-offer na ako ng 11, sinabi ko, awat na, 11 lang talaga. Ayan yung evidence. It's 11. Let's stop it. I'm going to make you a Part 36 offer. And it's going to expire in 21 days. And it's very, very early on. Now, if later on, say 7 months later, ayaw talaga naman maniwala. Ayaw talaga nilang i-accept yung evidence ko, even if it's the best of evidence. Just because asar sila. 7 months later, yung 11,000, yung cost ng case had been 30,000 pounds. For some, it's possible. It's possible to draw legal costs kasi gusto lang talaga nilang mainis sa amin. The court at the trial says, hindi to totoo. This is because we settled. The reality is we settled on that point. The reason why we settled is takot yung kalaban na yung korte would actually say, 11,000 nga lang. If the trial judge goes with me and say, by the way, it is 11,000. And I would say, yep, I offered 11,000 7 months ago. Thank you very much. I'm going to have my client's cost for the last 7 months. So panalo ako, technically, kahit yung client ko, yung magbabayad ng 11,000 because I made a better offer. So that's when it's really, really good to press the other side to press your client to be reasonable, to pressure the other side into a position na mapapaisip sila, matatalo kaya namin yung offer na to sa trial? Because with that's a classic case na tactically, we put forward, we lay our cards on the table, we said to them, kahit mag-trial tayo ngayon, the judge will just say it's 11,000 pounds. Not 50, not 30, but 11,000 pounds. So you better settle now, because if you don't settle, we'll go all the way to trial, and we're going to ask our cost from the date ng expiry ng offer up until the trial, which could potentially be about 20 to 30,000. So it's like gambling. Tinan mo, taluhin mo yung bet namin. If talo ka, if nanalo kami, babayaran mo yung cost namin. So that's the reason why I said, very important to look at your case as early as possible, push the other side tactically, na sabihin nila, if we go to trial, baka manalo pa rin yung offer ni DANNA. And that's going to be dangerous cost-wise.
Okay. Well, so there's no truth to do sa sa 150,000 more or less. Hindi pala ganun kalaki talaga. Wala pala yun.
Hindi ganun kalaki. It was a conjecture. They,
okay.
Hindi ko sinabi nag-realize sila. They might just be what we call a mistaken belief. A mistaken belief.
But you were able to prove na hindi pala yun. At least nasa 30,000 lang. More or less. 36,000 ba?
Well, I was able to prove on the balance of probabilities na
Yeah,
talagang 30 lang talaga yung pwedeng
30.
mahanap or pwedeng
Okay.
ma-prove. So they can't really go on trial if yung evidence at the moment is
Mm.
in favor of my client and naging reasonable na kami. Kasi pwede namin silang pabayaran ng cost namin. Because the yung principle is that sasabihin ng court, bakit pa tayo dito?
Mm,
Inoperan ka na
mm,
pala ng maayos
mm.
mo for 7 months ago. So
Ayan, oo. Okay.
that is really the principle behind it.
Okay, so pagka less than 10,000 attorney, pwede itong mga small claims court, no? Pwede yan.
Small claims, it doesn't
Small
apply
claims
sa
center,
small
no?
claims court na sinasabi ko because small claims each party bears their own cost.
Oo.
Hindi mo pwedeng i-tactic yung cost. We call it the cost warning.
Oo.
Cost warning sa kanila.
Okay, meron
So yes,
kasi
there are small
mm,
10,000.
si Franz Pinedo, sabi niya, yes po, I did that po, no? Sabi niya, I was a victim of elevation, ano ba, time stop salon in Kensington High Street, 2,550. Ano yun? I claim my money back po to small claim court po. I won cases po without the lawyer po, no? Mediation po, I did po. Ayan, sabi niya. Tapos,
You did this one. That's brilliant. That's good. You did that. Talaga naging
may,
buti naman.
bu-
Nag-working small claims.
may,
Jason.
may
That's very
dinagdag
good.
siya
Good.
rito eh. Attorney, may dinagdag siya. Babasahin ko lang ha. Ang sabi
Yeah,
niya,
go for it.
scam po sila, daming VIP clients na victims nila. Siguro ito yung parang salon siguro, no? Uh,
Mm.
some of them, 5,000 pounds plan treatment. Yung pala po, scam yun lahat ng victims. Nag-file sa small claims court. Ano to? Binenta nila mga clients sa finance po pala kaya yung finance po
Mm.
ang dinimanda ko. Okay. Yung finance.
Good for you.
Para sa Kensington ba yan? Pero parang isang may mga plan dyan sa may area ng ano eh. Nakalimutan ko na kung anong area yun. May hiyayain ka ng Pinoy. O ano, bigyan ka ng yung parang free facial and everything. Or free something.
Right.
Pagkatapos nun, bibigyan ka na ng mga plans, no? Baka
That's
yun
so
siguro,
crazy.
elevasyon eh. So, okay lang ginawa niya, pwede yung ganon, no?
Yeah, I mean, ang
2,500.
ganitong yung small claims is meant for simpler cases na
Mga simpler
kaya,
cases lang,
sometimes
oo.
kaya na walang abogado.
Hmm.
There are instances na kahit maliit yung claim, komplikado. So that's sometimes medyo, you still need legal advice. But yun yung inaano nila talaga na hopefully yung mga simpler cases, you really don't need a lawyer. Kung breach of invoice na hindi nabayaran, it's very, very
Mm-mm.
straightforward.
Oo,
Ibigay
oo.
yung service at hindi lang nagbayad, that's fair play.
Well, ayan, no. Pero maganda yung sinasabi mo, no? Ano yan, yung weighing of, is it trial or settlement, no? Parang, who,
Yeah. Do you wanna take a gamble sa
oo.
trial or ito yung settlement? It's very exciting. So work, I find that one of the most exciting elements ng work
Exciting
there.
ba yun? O pwede kang himatayin dyan. Kailangan niya. Siguro
Pwede
kaya ka
din, pwede
tumatakbo, attorney, no? Kaya ka takbo ng takbo para tumibay ang puso mo at dibdib mo. Kasi maraming tao sa
yeah,
pagkaganyan, di ba, nangangatog, hinihimatay, di ba? Yung tuhod, nangangatog. Dahil siyempre, ano yan eh,
yeah.
stressful na ano yan, di ba? Pero ikaw, excited ka, no? Parang,
It's quite stressful.
oo,
We call it kung meron ka bang stomach for litigation because it
oo.
really is quite stressful. A lot of it is judgment calls and you wish yung
Pe-
judgment call mo tama.
Attorney kamukha niya, how, um, nasa negotiating table kayo halimbawa. Yung kalaban mo, abogado, nasa kabila. Mukha na siguro siya 60 years old. Paano yun? How do you deal with them? Di ba? Kasama yung abogado. Ikaw, kasama ka rin abogado.
Yeah.
How do you deal with them? Parang you have to be very firm. Ang mukha mo ngayon, you always are smiling. Pero pagdating ba sa ganyang mga negotiation, poker face bang yung aming mahal na attorney?
Not necessarily.
Do
You
you
can be
smile to
pleasant.
your enemy, hindi naman
Oh
enemy, no?
yeah,
Do you smile do sa parang o claimant ano pa pangalan nun? Yung sa
yeah,
kabilang
you
yung
always,
kabila.
you always have to be respectful. You always always have to be respectful. Sa
Oh.
akin, you can nod, you can say good morning, you can say good afternoon. There's no need to be rude. You don't need to be rude to prove the merits of your claim. Para sa akin, I don't need to be rude. I don't need to, I don't need to look like gusto ko silang patayan. I need to have a poker face. I want to be pleasant. I'd like to be pleasant, but they can look at my case and they can make a judgment kung sa tingin nila it's
Hindi ba
that
nagkakapikunan? Hindi rin ba kayo parang yung kayong both lawyers,
Meron
halimbawa, tipong,
din.
di pa tipong nagdi-demand, siyempre, siya acting on your client's behalf, siyempre, kailangan ipag matigas mo rin yun. Pero do you get to the point na parang kailangan maging tough ka rin, gano'n, sa negotiation?
I was told to keep it down once sa Harford County Court.
Saan niya?
And I had we were discussing with I was discussing with an opposing lawyer at talagang medyo lalaki pa man din.
Parang ano nangyari? Parang
A spirited discussion.
spirited discussion.
Spirited
Oh,
discussion.
okay.
Yeah,
My
spirited discussion.
client,
But it's all
oo.
it's part of the job. It's part of the job na you
Oo.
kumbaga gusto nila agad kakapal yung mukha mo actually. You don't get easily offended, you don't take things personally.
Oo.
The job at the end of the day, it's a job. At the end of the day, you do what's best for your client. Itabi yung ego kung kailangan, itabi yung pride kung kailangan. You don't need to be rude. Yun yung I think one of the most parang misconception then kumbaga that lawyers or litigators are parang sobrang feisty or wala na talagang puso.
Mm.
You don't need to be rude. I was trained na very friendly yung mentor ko, very very delightful yung aura niya, very warm, very present, very personable siya. It's part also ng negotiating tactic. People tend to be more receptive if you're bringing a constructive dialogue sa table. People would like to hear
Yeah.
out
Magiging
if you're also willing to listen.
mm.
People would also be willing to listen to you. There are a right time and place for being absolutely assertive kahit in vocally or in writing. There are certain times na talagang we are very very strong in our assertions, and we use a fairly strong language, but we don't shout at each other. We don't you don't huwag mong insultahin yung kabila. At the end of the day, what you're trying to do is to just out strategize the other
Mm.
side with the best of your case, and that's what everyone is doing. And okay, kung magaling siya, good for her, good for him. That's I'll learn from the case and probably use it next time. And maayos naman dito. There's a level of merong kakapikunan din talaga. And, people. I think pang kapikunan is you just have a little bit of yung parang short na yung mga comments niyo sa isa't isa sa email. But I think in some ways natutuwa din talaga yung mga litigators na gano'n when you start poking at the other side. It's all part of the practice. But yeah. No, I've certainly may fair share din ako ng mga napikon ko. So it's
Well,
all right.
that's good. That's good. We're happy, ah. We're happy, attorney, na ikaw ay, kumbaga, you're being seasoned. Ika nga, no? Parang nagluluto, no? Seasoned. Seasoned, ano ka na, lawyer, and you're having a lot of experiences. And from your mentor, he was teaching you yung medyo cool na style, di ba? Sabi mo,
you have
which is
to
good.
have grace under pressure. You have to always be composed. Hindi ikaw yung unang mapipikon sa negotiation. Your client, kapag isa lang maging they tend to be the one na magkaka emotionally high sentiments about the case. Job to keep a cool head all the time. So I think yung ganon, that's you learn that as well with age. You learn that with practice. Ang sabi ko sa'yo,
Mm.
talagang kakapal yung mukha mo sa practice na to. You don't
Tama,
take
syempre, of
offense.
course, di ba? Dahil you're dealing with, you're arguing, you're bargaining, you're negotiating,
Yung
'di ba? Iba
bargaining.
'yan eh. So, nahahasa ka rin, no? At tumitibay
Yeah.
ka na rin eventually, no? Siguro from
Hindi
initial
may talaga.
mga
You develop a
experience,
stomach for it.
you develop the
Yeah, you
stomach for
develop a
it. Oh.
stomach for it. You develop a
Okay.
stomach for it. And yeah.
Ito siguro last, siguro comment o
Yeah,
advice
go
from
on.
you, no? Comment, advice from you, ito sa ating show, no? Bago tayo magpaalam. Ito, basahin ko, no? Nababasa mo yan. Sabi ni Attorney DQ, sabi ni Edgar
Hi,
Duway,
hello.
"Hello, I'm now listening with my 14-year-old daughter." Kaya mo ba basahin?
Yeah, yeah,
Napapasok
I
mo ba?
can.
Sige,
Alexandra.
sige, sige,
Hi,
sige.
Alexandra. Hi.
Sige.
Hello. Now I'm listening with my 14-year-old daughter, Alexandra. Hello, Alexandra, who is
Alexandra,
interested
good evening, yeah.
in being a lawyer and taking sociology in her GCSE. What advice can you give her? We're talking about corporate lawyers or litigators' job, etc. What else can you give her? Thanks in advance. My advice is good. Good for you. Na, you're thinking about your future. That's very good. I know it's tough time nowadays. Take it stage by stage. Tingnan mo yung how you get on. Get as much experience as you can. We're happy to give, and I'm not just saying this dahil it's Filipino corner. We open our doors to work experience, young people, to give them a taste of what it is to work in a law firm. It's just a work experience for a week, just to show how yung day-to-day job, so they'll be able to know for themselves if this is really the job that they want. I think that's one thing to it's a really good parang taster sana for you, whether locally dyan maraming lawyers who willing to go back to give back to the community. I think you'll know when you're actually doing it. I think that's the best test for it talaga. I think we all have an idea what we want to do in our lives, and then when we start doing it, dun mo lang talaga makikita kung right fit talaga siya for you. But I think it's worth a try. Litigators, we're quite we're quite jack of all trades because we cover, according to Mr. Laragan, we cover a fair bit of law. At the end
Mm.
of the day, it's all about problem solving. I always say to my team members, at the end of the day, it's not just about winning an academic point. The difference between the textbook and practice is in practice, you're not just writing a coursework, hindi ka lang nagra-write ng thesis. What you're trying to do is to solve someone's problem. And
Right.
sometimes may
Mm.
mga practical solutions that may not necessarily mean a complete win on textbook, but it means practical problem solving. If that is your context, if that is your practice every day, is now, you look at the things and you become resourceful problem solver. I think that's a very, very good skill set to have in any lawyer job, corporate lawyer, come on, litigators, and I think in any job. I think at the end of the day, you want to be able to add value sa company mo, sa trabaho mo, and you do that by trying to provide a solution to a problem. So if I can summarize what we do every day, it's really solving a problem or solving a puzzle. So that's what it is.
Wow, okay, okay. Well, pero at the moment, it's on hold, no? You cannot have work experiences dahil nga sa COVID, di ba? Wala ngayon, no?
Yeah, it's on
So,
hold, but we're happy to do it once
oh,
it's meron kami just before lockdown. I think we
yeah.
gave work experience in my past work. We used to
Hmm.
give every year, and ngayon yung iba lawyers na, so
Wow.
we call them, and
Like,
it's very good.
na,
Nakakatawa. I feel very old when I used to see them.
lawyers, teka muna,
Yes.
nagano sila, nag-work experience, abogado ka na, ganun? Ngayon, abogado na
Okay.
sila.
Yeah,
Wow,
very
kita
early
mo nga
on in
naman,
my
ang galing
career.
ha, ang galing naman. Well, okay, because they have to be there, no, to parang shadow, observe, watch, no, hindi pa pwedeng virtual, no? You cannot do a virtual
Uh,
work experience, di ba?
Meron din. I think a
Kaya
lot
ba?
of firms are doing haven't. Kaya naman, kaya
Oo.
naman. I mean, I think yes. I think it is possible because I heard may mga firms who would
Mm.
do online internship. I think do that and do that for now, and then when COVID is over, still do yung face to face because it's quite different. Kung andun ka talaga, kita mo yung buzz, kita mo
Mm. Mm.
how we how we kami mga lawyers, how we actually consult with each other all the time. Yung mga wording na ginagamit namin, you know, it feels like yung team namin, it feels like parang crew kami, you know,
Mm.
the adrenaline rush of beating a deadline, of waiting for a judgment, yung parang
Oh,
mahihimatay ka
okay.
na
Oo.
makita mo yung judgment. Because sometimes, Mr. Sunny,
Mm.
ano, nagtapos yung trial, hintay mo pa after 3 days or after
Mm.
a few weeks yung judgment.
Mm.
So, you don't know, and it'll come via email. So, parang, hintayin
Okay,
ka
okay.
bago mo, 10 paragraphs bago mo malaman kung nanalo ka o hindi.
Oo.
So,
Yung sa dulo kasi yan, di ba?
yeah.
Yung parang ano
Sa
ba?
dulo,
Ikaw,
sa una kong ginagawa,
oo.
pinapasa ko yung dulo.
Ano pangalan mo yung midterm doon, di ba? Yung dulo?
Yes, that's
Yung,
that's really the
therefore,
final, the
ganyan, di
final.
ba? Oo. May tawag doon
Therefore,
eh.
yeah, in my opinion, yeah,
Oo.
I dismiss or
Oo.
I find in favor of this. So
Pe-
a lot of it is
mm.
really about you know a lot about endurance. You know, kinda, it's quite fun in that way. Na
Mm.
you have to have the stomach for the ups and downs,
Mm.
and you'll never have the same day.
Okay.
It's always a different.
Ano yan? It comes
Yeah.
through years of practice and experience, di ba? Yung mga, di
Yeah,
ba?
it
Kasi,
comes through years
oo.
of
Talaga.
practice. Yeah, it comes through years
Oo.
of practice. You feel you know after a few years, even now for me, I'm 6 years, 10 years in industry, 6 years is fully qualified. I still feel excited, going back to work because tomorrow, I don't know, I know fairly kung ano yung kailangan kong gawin, but I don't know kung sino yung tatawag, how, what evidence would come through, sino yung may crisis, so it's quite
Okay.
exciting.
It's solving a
Yeah.
problem, like as you put it, di ba? Solving a problem and
Solving a problem
a
or
puzzle,
solving a
no?
puzzle.
Pero kamukha, no?
Yeah,
When
it's
you,
very much like
pero when you talk to clients, pwede ba silang nakaupo dyan o hindi? For example,
that.
o hindi na po pwede
What do you
yan.
mean?
Like for example, di ba,
What do
they
you
can see you, yung bus sa opisina. But for example, you're meeting a client is probably consulting you first and seeing you
mean? Yeah.
in person. Yung mga yan, do you allow them to sit in? Hindi.
So
Hindi
we
pwede. Dahil
usually have
sikreto, baka
meetings.
sikreto yun, hindi?
I mean, confidentiality yung ibang papers, so we don't want them to see kung sino yung ibang
Ah,
clients namin. We
ah.
have to keep that
So meron
confidential.
ano.
But yeah,
So what do
yeah,
they
but they
do?
can see like
Saan sila confined? Anong mga nakikita ng mga bata?
yung mga bata po,
Ito
they
mga ano?
get to see everything. Kasi sa sign po sila ng confidentiality, may non-disclosed na sa sign sila.
Do
So
they sign? Kunyari, itong mga ano to, these GCSE, ano ba itong mga bata, for halimbawa, nag-work
everyone
experience sila. Oo.
Yeah, everyone signs undisclosed.
Ito, naku, grabe pala itong,
It's their ask. That's what everyone is expected na to keep confidentiality, but they get everything. Sometimes I bring them to client meetings as well. I introduce na, I've got my intern today, and most of clients are fine with it kasi may mga anak din sila na gusto nila
okay. So,
experience.
okay lang.
So I'd say
Okay
I'm
lang.
bringing my intern
Oh,
how it's done, and they're actually willing to take down notes, and it'll be for your case because someone else is taking down notes. So
uy.
we like
That, that,
having
that's good. That's good.
an
That's good.
intern.
Uy, thank you daw. Thank you so much, sabi ni Edgar, no? Sabi niya, kasi as of now, she is representing Filipino teens, siguro Filipino teens in Darby Council Youth Representative as young councilors, no? And it
Yeah,
sparked her interest on public service. Kaya,
fantastic.
and binibida kita, attorney, sa kanya to inspire her to get into the career. Ha? Kita mo naman, ha?
Well, if you want to get work experience, I'm happy to. When you're ready, whether online or something, I'm happy. Just get in touch. We'll try to sort something out for you.
Ay,
That's it.
okay. Kita mo, Edgar, ha? Talagang, oo, ayan, si attorney, kung sakaling balang araw may abogada ka, ayan ang mentor niya, si attorney DQ. Ikaw ang nagsimula ng DQ, no? Ayan. Okay. Sabi niya, ano, oy, si ano nga pala, Ranjit Somel, sabi niya, thank you for your answer. And siguro, I don't know kung anong part to. It's good to hear that. I'm going to email you, Dana, with the details. Have a good evening both and see you tomorrow. Sige, thank you. Thanks, Ranjit, no? Oo, Ranjit.
Cheers.
Ronald Flores says, hello, Sir Sunny and attorney. Good evening. Mabuhay. Ayan.
Hi,
Nagbati sa
Ronald. Good
atin.
evening.
Ayan,
Good
so mabuhay,
evening.
mabuhay. Well, nakakatuwa. Nakakatuwa tong ating mga kababayan. Ano, no? Sila yung nagre-react. Inspiring yung sinasabi ni Edgar, no? Uy, sabi ni
Yeah.
Rudy Librojo, hindi lumabas dito. Sabi niya, magandang gabi po, Sir Sunny, and lovely and bright. Lovely and bright. Attorney Dana. And all kababayans, mabuhay po from Belfast, no?
So,
Ayan,
Belfast. Good
sa Belfast siya.
evening,
Oo.
Rudy.
Oo, kaya
Magandang
mabuhay,
gabi.
mabuhay. Well, I guess, ayun na muna siguro tayo, attorney. Napakarami natin mga
Yeah.
kababayan. Marami nagmamahal sa'yo. Marami ka na talagang mga
Mahal na mahal ko rin
fans,
sila.
no? At kita mo, may bago ka ngayon siguro fan na inspirasyon ka na binubuo binibida ka ni Edgar, yung kanyang daughter. Ano pangalan ng daughter niya? Nabanggit
Si
ba niya?
Alexandra.
Alexandra,
Alexandra.
oo, Alexandra. Uy, gusto kong pangalan yan. Pag nagkaanak ako ng
It's very
babae,
nice.
Alexandra. Kaya lang, naging Andrea. So,
Andrea.
Alexandra.
Maganda rin yun. Maganda rin
Oo,
yung
napaikse. Ang gusto ko talaga, Alexandra, pero in-insist ng aking sweetheart noon na Andrea.
si
O, di
Andrea.
Andrea tayo. Sige, okay
Baka
lang.
maging abogado din si Andrea, Mr.
Hindi,
Laraga.
ano na siya ngayon, doktor. Medicine yata ang kukunin. Medicine.
Medicine.
Oo, oo. Nandun sa malayong lugar. nasa, nasa New Zealand. Kamusta ka na, no?
Oh, wow. That's lovely.
Oo.
Hello, Andrea. Keep safe.
Si
Safe.
Andrea. Ayan, Andrea. Nako. Oo, gusto niya maging doktor.
Well, supportive tayo. Supportive tayo sa young people who wants to get in sa law. Ako we open the doors talaga. Kung sino yung gustong matuto, gustong mag-mentor, I feel very, very strong about mentorship. Sabi ko nga sa'yo, I owe my career dahil minentor ako. So we try to give back. We have a strong mentorship culture, open door policy. So sa office, anyone can ask whatever. Sa teams, there's no such thing as a silly question. We
Mm.
do like, as a firm as well, to see people grow, to take part in that growth. And nakakatawa to be around the young. You always say young ako, pero actually, mas marami pang mas bata sa akin. And it's nice, really, to see them. Because you get reminded, yung nag-umpisa ka, kung gaano talaga gusto mo tong makapasok dito. It's always good to be around that energy.
Parang gusto ko yan, no? Hopefully, next batches of mga lawyers, mga batang Phil Brits
Yeah,
na lawyers, mabuo ng dahil sa'yo, no? Ang worry ko lang, baka magkaroon kayo ng kiddie center dyan sa Deo Valente, no? Dahil parang kiddie lawyers, di ba? O, di ba? Meron kayong mga teenage lawyers. Lawyers to be. Di ba? Di
so
maganda yan.
lahat ng mga I still get in touch with them. Ngayon, years and years back. So most of them I'm still in touch with, and yung
Which
iba
ones? Yung mga
abogado na.
who did their work experiences?
University level. By that time, university level na sila. So they did a work experience. A number of
Okay,
them
okay.
came back a few summers. Mga 1 or 2 summers. May isa na ilang years din. So I give them references. They keep me in touch. Tapos,
Okay, good.
yeah.
Oh,
Like, sometimes they call yung answer din sa sagot sa sa
talaga?
legal questions.
Oh,
Yeah,
ga-
so it's very good.
So, ano pala, hindi lang pala ang work experience limited. It could be anybody, like yung mga bata, tapos pwede rin yung mga nasa university na, gano'n ba?
Yeah. Work
Okay.
experience.
Akala ko may certain ages yan. Hindi pala.
No,
No? Okay,
hindi.
okay. Oh, that's good. So,
Hindi.
Alexandra, ha?
You want
Alexandra, just say, how will she call you?
Yeah.
Attorney, ano tawag sa'yo? Attorney Tita? Amelia, Alexandra, Amelia. Amelia pala, oh. Ito naman. Oy, naku, Diyos ko. Kita mo nga talaga. Alam mo, influensya na ating program, attorney eh. Oh, yeah, kaya nabanggit mo. Ina-allow mo yung mga OJT. Oh, ito na ngayon. May lumabas na ngayon bago rito. Oh, si Jane Young. Ayan, basahin mo si Jane Young.
Hi, Jane Young. First year law. Yeah. Come and say hello, Jane. Come and say hello, yung attorney mo. We like we like helping, giving a leg up sa mga young
Nabasa
people.
mo ba, attorney? Sabi niya?
Yeah, first year law. First year law.
Oh,
Yeah.
looking forward to have her OJT in your firm, attorney.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Oh.
And
Pero,
hindi lang sa akin. The thing is that hindi lang sa akin, hindi lang yung
oh,
litigation. So meron talagang parang program na inaano na they'll spend a bit of time with property kung gusto nila, or immigration, or yung iba private client, and litigation and family. So we try for them to have a complete picture ng legal practice. And even nung last namin, even accounts, kung ano yung sa accounts and HR. So we do try our best.
ba, ang galing pala, no? Ang worry ko lang yan, baka pati si Edgar Dubay magkumuha ng work experience. pati, pati si Edgardo Cagahastian, si Ranjit, Somel mapili ni Ranjit, no? Pati si Ma'am Cora Carsola, no? Sabi nila, ay gusto namin mapalapit. Ikaw, wala ka naman, hindi ka naman kung gusto dumalaw at bigay sa'yo ng kakanin. O dahil sabi, matakaw ka sa biscuit, may sweet tooth ka, magdala sila ng cake sa'yo, okay lang, no? Dalawin ka lang.
Salamat.
Ayan,
That would,
ang problema lang natin niya, Tony, baka tumaba ka. Dahil, hindi, pero hindi ka tumataba, no? Sabi mo, may sweet tooth ka, mahilig ka sa biscuits, mga ganyan-ganyan, no? Pero hindi ka naman, you don't put it sa, you don't gain weight naman, no? Hindi naman gano'n, no?
I think nasanay years and years probably of training na up yung metabolism ko, but probably kung kumain din siguro ako ng sobrang biscuit sa isang araw. Every hour siguro kakain, siguro tataba din po siguro.
Pasunod-sundot lang. Yung 11 o'clock mo, ano yung 11 o'clock mo nga uli? Yung time na medyo,
11 o'clock. Binibigyan, tapos may parang sweet treats na dun sa may kanto. Talaga yung minsan mga alas 5 na pupunta pa kami doon. So it really is palakain po yung firm namin. So much more ako talagang may habit talaga ako. Before ako mag-type ng big mental space na kailangan ng mental energy, kailangan ko ng biscuit.
Ano yan? Before going into something, kunyari a task, ito kailangan tapusin ko report or yung arguments ko, whatever that has to be written down in paper, magbabay ka muna ng biscuit. Pagkatapos mong nagawa yon, you will reward yourself with, biscuit uli ako, tapos ko na eh.
Actually, I do.
Do you reward yourself? Natapos ko na. Tapos na. Galing. Parang di ba? Pero alam mo, attorney, para kasi Manny Pacquiao. Alam mo ko bakit? Kasi si Manny Pacquiao, pag lumalaban siya, pag papasok siya sa ring, di ba may mga fighters walk o kung ano sa tawag nila yan. So, he's talagang parang bata nakangiti, no? Yung kalaban nila, takot eh. Yung parang alam mo na, seryosong parang masuntok ako, baka, di ba? Hindi alam eh. Kabado. Ikaw parang ganyan eh, because your work is full of stress, full of, siyempre, mga, di ba, surprises at lahat. Pero parang you're eager, parang excited ka pumasok the following day dahil ano naman kaya mga issues, ano may darating na ebidensya, ano mga complexities. Happy ka and you look young. No, parang, di ba, parang pagkaganyan trabaho mo, baka tendency. Alam mo, may kasamahan akong kaibigan. Okay, makwento ko lang may kwento ko lang kasi, yung abogado, yung best friend ko na high school, yung ate niya nag-aaral ng law. Okay? Ang boyfriend niya, yung sa UST, yung, bishop yun eh. Si Leonardo, hindi nga pala, hindi ko babanggitin. But anyway, mabait eh. Nung una ko, parang magpapari pa nga yung nanliligaw sa aking yung sister ng kaklase ko, kaibigan ko. Alam mo, dahil lawyer siya, he was working for Dean Narvasa, si Justice Narvasa, no? Andres Narvasa. Narvasa Law Office. So he was working for that company.
Narvasa.
Si Andres Narvasa, Dean Andres Narvasa, naging justice yata si Anyway, pero ano siya, naging tough ang mukha nila, tumapang because of Sabi ko, hindi ko na babanggit yung pangalan, no? Bakit? Kunyari, Andy na lang. Okay, Edgar na lang. Edgar, ba't ganyan ang mukha mo? Tumapang na. Parang kang ano, parang tough boy, tough guy eh, no? Parang iba na ang itsura mo, no? Eh, sabi ko ang laki ng difference niya eh, because of the job, no? Siguro parang ano.
Is
Pero ikaw baliktad eh. Imbis na tumapang ang mukha mo, mag-harden ano, parang nagiging mas angelic yata as years go by, attorney eh. So,
Thank you
di
very
ba? Paano yun? It doesn't get into you. Parang ibang klase ka. Parang kasi Manny Pacquiao na tuwan-tuwa. Hindi naman sa mabugbog, no? But he feels happy and excited going into the ring, you know? Ganun ka rin,
good.
no?
Yeah. Next side. I like puzzles. I naturally like puzzles. And para sa akin, I really get extreme satisfaction pag you solve the problem. So
Mm.
you solve the problem with the client na hindi ko kailangan completely na but I get extreme satisfaction if maka-add ako ng value sa buhay ng isang tao. So, yung dadaanan mong stress for me, that's yun yung yun yung kumbaga sa marathon, exciting yung finish, excited ka sa finish. Yung mga
Mm.
dinaanan mong takbo at akyat
Mm.
baba, yun, para makapunta ka sa finish na paborito mo. So, kumbaga, ando yung biskwit. So, na-excite ako dun sa
So,
biskwit.
excited ka dyan, oo. Pero at the same time, mental mo yun, no? Excited ka
Yeah.
at pinagbubuti mo rin yung practice, no? As a lawyer. Pero physically, dahil nag-aakit ka ng mga bundok, tumatakbo ka, yan ba, is it more for physical fitness or is it trying to be physically fit for the demands of your work? O hindi naman?
Yeah, no. Actually, you're right about that. Talagang may you do need time to to unwind and to have a different kumbaga mag shut off yung mind mo a little bit. Para fresh ka, parang athlete ka din eh in many ways. You're dealing with endurance work. A lot of time you're dealing with stresses, in the same way na physical stresses ng mga atleta, you're dealing with daily stresses ng trabaho mo. So, you have to be able to maintain what I call litigation fatigue. Totoo po yun.
Mm.
So, you have to find ways to take care of yourself. So, kung kaya mong, kung running man yan, or magpiano ka, or whatever, it is to keep your disposition light,
Mm.
na pagpasok mo sa ano mo fresh ka, pagpasok mo maayos ka. You go find that. Para sa akin, it's a job. My job is gumera, maging warrior para sa client ko. So, I'm gonna turn up every day. I'm gonna try to take care of myself, so para maayos ako at maayos ako sa team member ko. And we try to have a good laugh. Para, you're gonna do this for a huge part of your day. You do want to do it as enjoyably as
Mm.
possible. And kailangan natin maghanap ng positive, even if parang pagod na pagod ka na. We do
Mm.
try to laugh about it a lot,
Yeah,
and
yeah. Ganun na lang, no?
try to
Kailangan, di
get
ba? Oo, oo.
yeah, we're quite
At least,
light,
sa marunong ka,
light as it.
kayang-kaya mo, no? You know how to deal with it, no? You have a way of, di ba? Parang more or less, parang switching off na rin, di ba? So,
Yeah,
or trying to deal
yeah,
with itong mga stresses, no? Oh, teka muna, sabi
yeah.
ni Edgar, I'm a product of OJT and it really and it's really great experience and I did the same sa mga naging students ko na nagturo ako sa uni. And until now, they are very thankful sa tulong ko sa kanila. Hyper DQ. Ba tawag sa'yo? Hyper DQ. Talaga. Sabi, Hyper DQ talaga yan. Kaya yan pakainin ng kahit ano. Sunog agad. Siguro mababurn mo kagad. Sunog agad yan kahit anong kainin. Attorney DQ,
Oh,
padalang kita ng Skyflakes. Ano, ayan.
thank you,
Oo.
thank you.
Na,
Yeah, thank
ayan, oh.
you.
Nagtanong pa siya, ano ang
Magpa-promo nga ako ng next week. Di ba? May pa-promo atin Doritos next week ba? Skyflakes, tsaka really good cookies.
Hindi, may Doritos siya, no? Si attorney sa Thursday. Nakatuwan lang. Matakaw kasi
Cookies
sa...
next week.
Ano ba kinakain mo? Ano ba
Yeah.
mahilig mo kainin? Ako kasi there was a time Doritos
Ah,
talaga. Ngayon, addict ako ngayon sa Tesco na popcorn.
popcorn, yeah.
Yung
Popcorn
Tesco,
espresso,
Tesco,
yeah.
mismo Tesco lang
Let's
yung
go up.
hindi yung may branded na popcorn. So, yun lately, dati Doritos ang talagang bugbog ako sa Doritos eh. Pero ngayon medyo nag-popcorn na ako.
Mas,
Especially,
healthy.
mas healthy ba yung
Yeah,
popcorn, di ba? Corn, sabagay, corn din naman yung snow, sky, ano yung ano, Doritos, di ba? Mga made of corn.
yeah.
So, ayan, oh, patadalang ka ni, ano, ayan,
Dahil next week,
ano,
magpapaano tayo ng
ayan.
biscuit.
Okay, wait, may sinasabi siya,
Biscuit.
ano ang displacement method mo sa stress running? May mga displacement method pang pinag-uusapan si,
Displacement method. Yung ganda.
oh,
Ganda na term na yun. Gamit ko
oh,
nga yun bukas. Yeah.
ayan. Well, okay. Naku, napahaba tayo at napakasarap ng kwento natin, attorney, kasi siyempre, pagka nandiyan ka, tuwan-tuwa tayong mga, mga kababayan natin dahil we're so proud of meron kaming abogado, no? Imagine mo yan. Very young looking and yet, talagang matindi. Kayang-kayang labanan ng ang stress at excited pa. Walang problema sa stress, di ba? Sabi mo nga, ano ka na, season ka na, nasanay ka na, kaya mo nang hindi naman sa makapalamok ka, pero matibay na kayo, di ba? Dahil sa di ba? Yung mga,
There are hard days, but
oo. So,
there are good
ma-
days as well. So
mabuhay,
there we are.
mabuhay, mabuhay. Okay, well, baka may mga last, mga mensahe pa, baka meron kang gusto pang idagdag doon sa mga pinag-usapan natin, or you'd like to, anything, no? O magpaalam na, sige, attorney.
But no, I just want to say thank you kasi talking about happiness and good vibes. Nakaka-good vibes po. I just want to say parte din ng kung bakit siguro less stress minsan yung mukha ko. Actually, nakakatuwa po na maging parte ng community na to and to hear all of those positive things from you. So I just want to say maraming salamat. I'm really touched. I really like being here. Nakaka-add dun sa satisfaction ng trabaho, nakaka-add sa satisfaction ng buhay. At in the midst of a very tough year, I think nakakatuwa na tayong mga Pilipino, we know how to find positive things. Kaya nating maghanap ng humor, kaya nating maghanap na nakakatawa, at na kaya nating suportahan pa rin yung isa't isa. So, it's such an absolute pleasure. Nakaka-humble po, nakakatuwa, nakakataba ng puso to be here every Tuesday. And Mr. Laragan, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for always being supportive, and thank you for keeping us all together. So yes, everyone, keep safe, keep well, keep healthy, and yeah, keep being positive. I think that's probably what I
Well,
would like to say.
well, ikaw, you're happy being with us. We are also happy being with you because looking at you, seeing you, no, gives smiles, will give smiles to everybody's faces, no? Dahil, wow, andiyan na naman si attorney. At kamukha na sabi ni Ma'am Cora Carsola, we learn from you. We learn from this interaction. And we're so proud na hindi ka naman house show. Ibig sabihin, you're the real McCoy. You're a real lawyer. You're the head of litigation. You're now a partner. These are things that make us also proud. Wow, si Attorney Dana pala, kita nyo, talagang she's really good. She's really good. Oh, we know a lot of things about you. You're so athletic, di ba? Ako hindi ako makatakbo, di ba?
Yeah,
Ay,
I have to go back into it now maybe after nung crazy period ng legal sector, we're definitely gonna have to go back and do a bit of climbing and hiking,
oo nga.
maybe with you guys as
Oo
well.
nga,
Maybe
oo
we
nga.
can
Gusto kong tawagan kayo. Gusto ko kayo tawagan kayo. At saka meron ako biniling tent. Hindi ko pa magamit-gamit yung tent or anything, no? Si
magano tayo.
Edgar, turuan niyo ako
Tayo.
makyat, no? Kabibili ko lang ng bisikleta, yun pa lang ang simula ko, mga 15 minutes, ganyan. Yun lang. Pero I couldn't negotiate yung mga hilly, dahil sakit sa legs yun eh. Pero at least little by
Yan
little.
lang.
Pero we're
Yeah,
so
little
proud of
bit.
you, ha? Attorney, we're so proud of you. No, ito sila we learn many things about from your legal advice. We may not have legal problems, but we may share them to our fellow kababayans, Filipinos dito. Meron ka na mga early work experience people na, no? So, baka
Yeah,
madagdagan pa yan. Yan ang problema. Sa bagay, okay yan. Magkaroon ng mga
true.
fans of Attorney Dana, the DQ kids, no? O, di ba?
That's so cute.
So, well,
Uh,
thank you very much. I am really well. We are the ones actually thanking you for, well, somehow yung sprinkling to us some of your knowledge. Kasi yan ay Napakalaking bagay. We are empowered. Sabi nga ni ano, sa ano bang TV show, walang stupid questions. This is an opportunity for us to really learn from you because lahat tayo hindi naman kasing yung nakukuha mong mga knowledge na yan. Kami ordinary mere mortals lang kami na pagka may ganyan na nagtatanong-tanong kami and we get educated and we get to learn. So maraming salamat. We want to thank you actually. Uh, if everybody can give some biscuits siguro sa'yo, dami na natin biscuits dito para mauubos para sa'yo. So, appreciation. Para ano, di ba, sa Pilipinas, di ba, yung mga manok nagdadala sa doktor, sa ganyan, no? So, gano'n, sa tuwa nila, Skyflex yan, papadalang ka, no? But, ano lang yan, a little token, pero parang ano na yun, natuwa na rin, nagkatuwa na, nakakatuwa. We love Attorney DQ, yan.
Mababa
O,
po
di padala natin.
kaligayahan.
Yeah.
May nagbibigay ng candy minsan dun sa ano, siguro mukha akong pagod. May nagbibigay ng candy dun sa taas ng,
Uy,
ng mga papel ko talaga. It's really sweet. My workmates are really sweet actually. Yeah.
well, merong mayaman na ano siya, well, babae, she was able to make hers, parang successful siya. Marami na siyang mga alahas. Alam mo na, talagang successful. Alam mo, binigyan siya ng lobo, tuwan-tuwa. Lobo lang ha. Oh, lobo. Tuwan-tuwa. Oh, natuwa lang parang napasa. There's always a child, a kid in all of us. Maski yung mga 60, 70 years old, 'di ba? Parang natutuwa ka eh. Ganun talaga.
I mean,
Oy,
if you can be happy with simple things, that's a good
yes.
start.
Oh,
That's a good
yes.
start. Yeah.
Yes, even the simplest songs are the best songs. Mga simplong tono, no? So, maraming salamat. We'll miss you again for about almost a week again, no? We'll get to see you 7 days from now, no? Or 6
Days
days
from
from
now.
now. Oh, so till then, no? Maraming salamat sa iyo, attorney. Keep safe and well always. Ingat-ingat because we don't wanna miss you, no? At as always, you are you are an inspiration to all of us, no? Dahil sa iyo, sa kaalaman mo at sa talastasan at pakikisama mo sa amin, pagsama mo sa amin dito with your expertise, malaking bagay na. And definitely, parang we feel proud na, may mga lawyers sa UK, pero teka muna, may number one lawyer kami dito. Walang iba kundi si Attorney DQ. Panlaban ho namin yan. And we're so proud of you. So, ingat ka. Have a nice rest of the week and weekend. And let's see each other again on Tuesday. So, you take care, no? So, maraming salamat. So, sa pangalan ho ni Attorney DQ, Attorney DANNA Quinto, ito po si Sunny Laragang nagsasabing thank you very much sa inyong pagsama sa amin sa Legal Advice Corner with Attorney DANNA Quinto. Magkikita huli tayo next week for another edition of the Legal Advice Corner. So, till then, take care and God bless. Bye!
Take care. Keep safe. Bye.